The following video was made possible by EA Game Changers. Hi everyone, and welcome to another apartment renovation. Today I'm making an apartment for a fashion photographer using a bunch of the items that came with the new Moschino Stuff Pack. As I discussed in my overview of that pack, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the creative items, but I liked a lot of what came in build and buy mode, so I really wanted to make something putting those items to use, and I thought an apartment would be something fun and quick to make in order to do that. And I am building this in 121 Hakim House because I thought this would be a fantastic place to build something like this, because originally that space in the front of the apartment was an art studio, so I thought that space would be perfect to turn into a photo studio. And from there, this apartment has one bedroom, one bathroom. I was trying to make it feel spacious and luxurious, so it has a large luxurious bathroom, and there's also a walk-through closet leading into that. I thought that would be perfect for someone who's into fashion, as I imagine a fashion photographer would be. And here I'm just going through and trying to figure out what wallpapers I wanted to use, because I did want to make use of the new wallpapers. And this apartment ends up being just a different style than I would usually make. Like, I have renovated this apartment before, but this is just a completely different style than I did it in the last time. It's just this more modern kind of high-end style, and it was a bit out of my comfort zone, but I had a lot of fun putting this together, and I do like how it turned out, even though I wasn't so certain at first. But right now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to place these backdrops in. I really wanted to use the animated ones, but I wasn't sure if they would fit in at first, but I managed to get them to fit in like that, and we got the tripod here right across from that. So it's a little bit of a cramped photo studio, but you know, it's just enough space to make this work. We just got some lights shining on it right here. So I was trying to use as many of the new items as possible. And I also used those new windows and doors on the outside of this photo studio. I thought that'd be kind of neat, and I really wanted to use those items, but since this is an apartment, it's kind of hard to use those regularly, but I thought it'd be something nice to set this area apart. I'm so glad I was able to use those, because those are some of my favorite items that came with the pack, and I really want to make some converted factory builds and loft builds using those, so you'll definitely see them used more on my channel in the future. And before I upload this, I may change a swatch of that to the one that has the red in it. I kept it in the black one throughout the whole build, but after I finished it, I thought maybe that would look a little bit better, because the color scheme of the photo studio and the main area of the apartment is red, white, and black, so I think that extra pop of red would be helpful. But over here, we just have a seating area with a couple of chairs, and I also added this magazine stack decoration for the table, which I really like. I think that's an item that could definitely be useful in builds that aren't just themed around what came with the pack. Like, I could see those being really useful to put into teen bedrooms, or just to have out on living room coffee tables, because I definitely want more decorations that could work for coffee tables, because I find myself using a lot of the same decorations when decorating living rooms, so I'm really glad that we got something new. I also used those clothing racks. I was imagining that that was clothing that the photographer subjects could choose from when coming in for a photo shoot. I also added some of those digital photo frames to that room and throughout the rest of the apartment as well, and I'll try to fill them in with some pictures for the fly-through at the end of the video so you can see those as used. I'm not sure if I'm going to have them filled in when I upload the build. I might just leave it empty for that, because I'm not sure if it'll even upload to the gallery and still have the pictures in it when you download it anyway. But we're onto the kitchen now, and this kitchen is very dark. As I said, the main color scheme is red, black, and white. It's mostly red and black with some pops of white here and there, but it's just overall very dark, and this whole build has a very curated, coordinated kind of a feel to it. Usually when I build, I like to mismatch stuff a little bit, make it feel more lived in, like they just kind of got stuff from different places and pieced it together. But with this one, I wanted it to feel like everything was picked to match and go together perfectly. So everything fits the specific color scheme. It's in this matching style. I also didn't add a ton of clutter. I mean, there is some, but overall it's pretty minimal. Like with the kitchen, I added in less clutter than I usually would. We just got the utensil holder and a plant and some soap and a paper towel dispenser, and that's really about it as far as the clutter goes. And I also changed that wall in the back of the kitchen to be just a solid red wall instead of that new wallpaper that came with Moschino stuff, because I felt like having that all over this room was just a little bit too much. So in the end, I leave that wallpaper on just one of the walls, and it's that smaller wall in the hallway, and then I just made the larger walls a solid red color just so it wasn't too overwhelming, because I feel like this room is kind of overwhelming when you look at it with all the red, but I just think it's so cool. And as I said, I just had an absolute blast furnishing in a different way than I usually do because it is nice to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. I wasn't sure how I was going to like this apartment in the end. I was kind of worried it would just turn out being looking awful, but in the end, I actually really like how it turned out. Like, I was worried this apartment was just going to be very obnoxious and a little over the top, but I think it is very cool and it's good to try out different things. So behind the TV there, I just grouped a bunch of those dividers that came with City Living together. That is something I've seen a few other builders do in order to make a backing for their TV. So I thought that'd be something good to do in order to break up the reds a little bit and to make where the TV is mounted stand out a little bit. And then apart from that, we just got the new living chairs and sofa that came with this pack, and then the new end tables and coffee table as well. I also found that the furniture from Get Famous goes pretty well with the stuff from this pack, so you'll see me using some of those items throughout the apartment. I also like this new rug that came with the pack. It has some really fun patterns to it, and I like a good rug, so I'm always excited when we get new ones. Like, whenever we get new packs, I always want to see if there's new rugs. I don't know what it is, but I really feel like a good rug can pull a room together, so I'm always glad to have more options for it, and it just has some patterns that are different than what we've had on other items. And we of course just have more of those digital frames there. I did leave a space empty on this table here, and my idea was that I could put some of the regular picture frames from when you take pictures in the game and just have them seated on that surface, because thanks to the most recent patch, we are now able to pull frames off the wall and place them on surfaces. So I'm not sure if I'll do that before I upload it or just leave that as an empty space where maybe you could do that yourself. I probably will just stick a photo there anyway, because that is something I want to try out a little bit more, but it just made me so happy that they put that in the most recent patch, because that is something I've been wanting to be able to do for a while now. And I also like the new color options that we have for frames. I'm not sure how I feel about some of the camera upgrades being locked behind the pack though. Like, you need to have the new tripod in order to be able to take pictures of children and pets, or toddlers and pets, and you also need it in order to be able to freely move the camera around your Sims when taking pictures of them, because with that you can rotate around your Sim, you can also move in and out, so it just gives you more control. But I guess that makes sense because they need to do something to make the tripod more special. But overall, I just like all the new options we have between the two of them. But right here, I'm just swapping out that plant I had in the corner of the living room. And then over here, I'm placing this pedestal with a bust on it because I wanted to add something other than plants to this apartment as decoration. And I felt like the owner of this apartment would want to have some fine, expensive art throughout it. So I was trying to add a little bit more of that to it. But I was having some trouble finding items that were modern and able to fit on tables in the sculptures category. Like, I spent a while trying to figure out what to do with this table, and I ended up settling on just having a lamp and then sticking that one floor plant on, raising up and sticking on it, and then that cat decoration, because I was having a little bit of trouble figuring out anything else. But currently we're on to the bedroom, and with the bedroom I wanted to go with a different color scheme just so this apartment wasn't so overwhelmingly red. So this bedroom's color scheme is black, gray, and yellow, and it's a lot of yellow, but I think it looks really neat. This is once again a color scheme I normally don't go for because typically I use yellow as a pop of color here and there. Like, I don't use it to this extent, and I don't use it as the sole pop of color in a room, but I think it works really well. Although this room definitely gives me safety tape vibes. Like, the whole time I was working in this room, I just felt like this room was a safety cone or a safety vest or something like that. Like, it just kind of felt a little bit off to me for that reason, but I still think it looks really cool, and I like how it came together. And we had this shelf of photography equipment in here. I wanted to put that in the photography studio area, but due to the amount of windows and stuff I had against the wall, I wasn't able to fit it in there, so I thought the bedroom would be a good second place for it. And I raised up some cameras and stuck them on top of it. I don't think your Sims are, I mean, you might be able to drag it into your Sims inventory and still use them, but I was having them up there as kind of like a camera collection. I was imagining that maybe those are the cameras that this photographer has used in the past. You know, they've upgraded their cameras over time, so they got their first camera there, which is that crappy digital one, and then they upgraded to a slightly better one, and then upgraded another couple of times before getting to what they had now. And rather than getting rid of those cameras, they kept it around to remember their journey by. So I thought that was a really nice idea. And then over here, we just got a computer because I really wanted to have a workstation somewhere in this apartment, so I was trying to figure out the desk clutter because I wanted to have clutter on it because I did do this larger L-shaped desk, but at the same time, I didn't want it to feel too cluttered because I imagine the Sim is very put together. They don't like a lot of clutter. They maybe have someone come in to help clean the apartment, so because of that, things are kept very neat. They're just overall very in their place. You know, like when people come over to their apartment for gigs and to be photographed, they want this apartment to just look impressive and put together. They really want to make a good impression on their clients. And I just think it's a very fun apartment, but right now I'm trying to figure out the wall decorations because I wanted to have something there above the desk, but due to the busyness of the wallpaper, it was kind of hard to find something that fit in right. So it took me a little bit of trial and error, but I did find this painting from Cats and Dogs that actually worked very well. I liked how it had the pops of yellow in it to tie in with the wall, and I found that that painting actually goes with the color scheme of a lot of what came with this pack very well, because in the bathroom I used a swatch of it in blue because I ended up having touches of blue in the bathroom, and I was pleasantly surprised to find that the blue swatch of that painting was very similar to the blue swatch of the wallpaper. But we're already finished with the bedroom and the walk-through closet, so now we're on to the bathroom / laundry room because I did want to have laundry in this apartment, but it was a little tricky to figure out the layout because I had to figure out how to fit everything you need for a bathroom in along with the washer and dryer. So it's got kind of a weird layout. So you walk in from the hallway into the laundry area, and then through that you can go to the small room that's for the toilet, or you can go through the arch, and then you're in the part of the bathroom that has the sink and the tub and shower in it. Because I did have a go at furnishing this before, and I had the laundry area in a 2x2 room over by the wall, kind of where the toilet is, but a little bit bigger. And then I got everything else in the bathroom, and then I realized, wait, where do I put the toilet in? And I just did not have a good space to put the toilet in. So this layout actually worked pretty well, and I wanted to have this separate shower and tub. I know it's not necessary, but it's something to me that really adds this feeling of luxury to this apartment, and that's what I really want. I really wanted it to have this spacious and really nice, really luxurious bathroom because that's something I felt really fit with this apartment. You know, like it wouldn't feel right to have this open, modern space and then just have this crappy, teeny little bathroom, so that's what I was trying to go for with that. And over here, we just have the sink that came with Spa Day and this nice mirror that came with Get Together or Get Famous, and some pops of blue with that plant and the towel. But we're almost at the end of the building part of this video, so as usual, if you want to download this, there will be a link to do so in the description. There'll be other stuff in there, how to find it in-game, and that's going to be all from me, so if you enjoy the rest of the video.